Hello everyone, my name is Ben. Welcome to Curiosity Tracks. Here you can expect to see a lot of hiking, kayaking, snowshoeing in the winter months, and eventually you'll start to see me doing deep dives into outdoor gear that I know and trust and have a lot of experience with. We'll talk more about who I am and why I'm here in a later video. In the meantime, let's open up the project with a hike that was filmed on August 2nd, 2024 in the Adirondack Park near Lake Placid, New York. This one is called Haystack Mountain via Jackrabbit Trail. This is an out and back trail, so all the way out and all the way back. It is 5.7 miles long with an elevation gain of just over 1,000 feet, 1,007 to be exact, according to the All Trails app. All Trails rates this as a moderate trail, which I would say more or less is pretty accurate. It gets really serious towards the top of the mountain, but the rest of the trail is pretty forgiving, if a little bit tedious of an uphill climb. Let's hit the trail and I'll show you. Jackrabbit Ski Trail. Skis or snowshoes required beyond this point, December 7th through April 1st. Well, I don't think we have to worry about snowshoes. Okay, so we're underway on the Haystack Mountain via Jackrabbit Trail, and it is a little after 07:30 on 2 August 2024, and the first thing I'm noticing is just how humid and foggy it is. It is a wet day here in the Adirondacks. So, a couple of things to note. This trail is 5.7 miles, but it's an out and back trail, which means it is 5.7 cumulative miles. So, roughly 3 miles up, 3 miles down. Kind of reminds me of Band of Brothers. Easy Company is running up Currahee. 3 miles up, 3 miles down. So really, if you think about it, this elevation gain is happening in about 2 3/4 miles. 1,000 feet of elevation gain in 2 3/4 miles. It might not sound that bad, but that's a workout. especially if you're not used to doing this. So the lighting right now isn't great, and that's just because well, mostly because I haven't figured out the low light settings on this camera very well. But otherwise, it is early morning, and all the natural light is shrouded in tree cover, so keep that in mind. I'm hoping that at some point during the hike, the trees will break and we can get some good natural lighting. I don't know if you can tell right now, but we are going pretty uphill. I have my microphone attached to my hat, so what I think I'm going to do is take my hat off, and we'll get some ASMR type footage where you don't have to listen to me convert O2 into CO2. Up here it looks like it levels out a little bit, at least for now. Not sure if you could see that, but there's natural springs everywhere going through here. So if you need water and you got a Sawyer Mini, there should be no issues with that. See, there's another one. They're practically everywhere. So I gotta be perfectly honest with you. I've been hiking most of my entire life. But a trail like this, that's just a dead straight uphill climb, I haven't done one of these in years. To be brutally honest with you, it's a workout. If you're not used to doing this, my advice is train on trails that are a little bit shorter. Or, I mean, you could just not be a pansy and tough it out. And then when you get to the bottom, maybe better off for it. Oh, sounds like something my boss would say. Or you could just quit being a pansy. Well, you know what? You come up here and do this then, Jason. So this trail, like I mentioned earlier, is just outside of Lake Placid, New York. I don't know a lot about Lake Placid. What I do know is this. It's been the site of the Winter Olympics twice, in 1932, I'm pretty sure, and in 1980. And it was the location in 1980 of the Miracle on Ice hockey game where the U.S. team broke some crazy long Russian winning streak in hockey. I don't remember exactly how long they had been getting gold medals, but it was a while. So the reason I came to a stop is all this mud. So I have some pretty good hiking boots. I got Oboz Sawtooth X. Got a pair of those on. But I don't know that I'm trying to sink halfway up to my knees in mud, so I'm going to figure out how to get around this. So I'm hoping I can just frog jump a bunch of rocks, and we'll see if I can manage to. I mean, I guess it's not even really that bad. Oh, here is nasty. I probably sound like a pansy right now. Sorry, Jason. Yeah, let's see if I can go over here. Yeah, it was easier than I thought. Okay. And then right here, right there, right there. There we go. Oh, shit. Oh, no, this way. There we go. Yeah, about that. Okay. Well, whatever. Let's just press. If I'd have known it was going to be like this, I would have brought my Mindals. Those would be perfect for this. Now we're coming to a dead spot where it's honestly not quite so uphill. I haven't been getting a lot of it on camera, but there's actually quite a few spots where you'll have like 50, 60, even 70 yards of mostly flat hiking trail. And I've just been like, oh, thank God. Relief. It's nice, though. Gotta be honest, I'd rather be out here doing this than sitting at home in front of the television. And the forest out here, these woods, is just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, great. There's another sippy hole. You know what? Screw it. See, it's spots like this where I'm kind of wishing I had a little bit more ankle support. Because these hiking shoes are low tops, and so they stop like right at the ball of my ankle. And through here, I definitely prefer a little bit more ankle support, I'll tell you that. Alright, according to All Trails, we are a little more than a third of the way up. So it's definitely a climb, but I'm starting to make my peace with it, in spite of the fact that my calves are killing me from not being used to doing this. I'm currently walking through the squishiest mud. Like I said, I really wish I would have brought my Mindles for this, because these would have been perfect. But it is what it is. The thing is, there were people that came through here with trekking poles. So I'd like to see how they manage that one. I mean, if I had trekking poles and I was coming through here all this mud, I'd just toss them in my pack and not even worry about it. One thing I'm not noticing a lot of is bugs. And I'm not wearing bug spray either. And the bugs are pretty much leaving me alone. They're out there, I can see them, but they're just not worried about me, at least at the moment. Like, who knows if that'll change throughout the day, but right now it's a kind of a worry-free trek in terms of mosquito bites, black flies, that sort of thing. I almost rolled my ankle right there. That was awesome. Oh, what's this? I'm guessing this is just a camp spot. Looks pretty cool if I'm being real. I'd camp out here. This is nice. I'm not sure why I'd camp out here. It's not really far enough out in the woods for me, but you could certainly do it. Helicopter. Not sure if you can hear that. Missed it. Thought I heard a helicopter. So according to All Trails, I'm about 1.6 miles in, and it's actually been pretty level hiking. It hasn't been a ton of uphill travel. It was a lot like that for the first, I don't know, mile and a quarter. But it feels like I've been trekking for a while, and it's been pretty dead flat for whatever that's worth. This is a trail where you would definitely benefit from the All Trails app, just because there's a lot of turnoffs and cutoffs and spider webbing trails that go different directions. I found myself having to stop periodically and check the All Trails app just to make sure that I was still going the right direction. So how are we on time? Well, it took me about an hour and 10 minutes to travel 2.25 miles. And I would say about 65% of it was uphill. A couple takeaways at 2 miles. A couple takeaways I have already is you should expect a lot of mud and a lot of rocks. There is no way you're coming through here with tennis shoes. Just trust me, no you're not. I'm not even sure that I definitely wouldn't come through here even with trail runners. I'm not even sure that I would come through here again with a pair of sawtooths unless I had maybe a different version that had some much more serious ankle support. But yeah, a lot of rocks, a lot of mud, and a lot of uphill. Definitely expect that. I will say that this trail, I've got a pretty steep uphill climb right here. This trail, at least up to this point, 2.25 miles, has been almost entirely tree covered, blocking out a lot of the sun. Yeah, I know I've got sun coming in over my shoulder and kind of washing out the footage. I'm trying to stay in front of it. But for the most part, if you're somebody who really is trying to avoid getting a sunburn, this is a good hike to do. So there's a really important unmarked turn that you have to take that looks exactly like this. You would never know it was there if you didn't have the All Trails app. That's why I'm going to stress again, use the All Trails app, because I walked down that way about 1/5 of a mile in the wrong direction. So we need to go this way. Holy shit. It gets rocky through here. And I'm finding that if I stay put is when the bugs get really nasty. But if I'm on the move, it's pretty much zero issue. So this trail is actually really narrow, really steep, and not so obvious. Like I said, make sure you're paying attention to your All Trails app. Oh, this is uphill. Get ready for this, folks. Definitely get ready for some uphill right here. This is kind of where I'm wishing I would have had trekking poles. Okay. Ooh. So it just occurred to me. I looked at the All Trails app, and we're about 2.6 miles in. And I seem to remember by looking at the trail demo that the last little bit of it was a pretty insane uphill climb. So everybody make sure you're prepared for that. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. All right. Holy shit, this is uphill. Slow trek this is. I'm not sure if you can see out there, but that's the first view I've seen all morning. I know there's supposed to be a pretty good view at the top. I guess we'll see. There's supposed to be. It's a long way down. I'll be goddamned. That's a view. Well, everybody, I gotta tell you, I've been up here for about an hour, and it was well worth the trek. It's not easy the last half mile. It's pretty uphill on some pretty rough and narrow trails, but it is absolutely 100% worth it. I mean, I'm gonna turn the camera around. Look at this view. This is just insanity. I would say that this trail is not super well traveled. I mean, it's a Friday morning and I've only seen 2 people so far. So not a lot of traffic. I'm gonna sit on this rock right here. But yeah, you can see, I mean, the camera isn't gonna show you what I see appropriately just because it's so humid and foggy up here. I gotta come back up here in the winter time when it's drier because you can see forever up here. The camera just is not doing a good enough job showing you just how beautiful it is up here. So All Trails calls this a moderate trail, and I would say that's about right. I would say unless you're pretty well out of shape like I am, you should be able to do this. I wouldn't say it's gonna be easy, but it's not going to be an extremely tough trek that you can't stop thinking about as you're going to bed. I mean, it's a good workout, and it's definitely worth coming up here. I'm going to give this trail a thumbs up. I think it's absolutely good to go. My only recommendation is bring shoes or boots that have some good ankle support, and be prepared to trek through a lot of mud, especially during the summertime after it's had some rain. It's had a lot of rain up here in late July, early August, so this is definitely a wet time of the year, but this is a beautiful, beautiful view, and it was well worth the work that it took to come up here. I'm going to trek back down. I am probably not going to film very much of it just because it's the same thing in reverse. I'm only going to film something if I think I have something to talk about or if I see something unique. Let me check and see how long it took me to get up here. So according to the All Trails app, it took me about 1 hour and 40 minutes to travel 3.03 miles, and that was including my little detour, because I'm an idiot. So it should take me about the same amount of time to get back down. I started at about 07:30, and it was after 09 somewhere when I got up here. So you can expect it to take about that long, and that's with breaks. Like I only took 1 break for about 10 minutes and that was it. So I definitely kind of hauled ass up this mountain, and I'm glad I did because it is getting hot. It's time to go. It's getting muggy, it's getting humid, and it's time to get back down this hill. Let's go. It does feel like it's getting brighter now that I'm coming back down. The sun is getting to a spot where it's able to shine down through the trees a lot more directly, and I'm getting some really cool lighting effects walking through here, coming back down. At least on camera it would appear that way. How it's going to look on the editing floor, I have no idea, but right now I think we can see a lot better than we could this morning, well, earlier this morning. And so I'm really new to this. I'm using a DJI Osmo Action 4, and I looked at a couple YouTube videos to try to come up with the best settings, but it looks like I still haven't figured out the really low light settings to use on this thing when it's early in the morning and the light is having a hard time shining through the trees. So we'll work on that. So I cannot stress enough, coming back down the steep hill to get up to the top of the mountain, it's just as steep going down as it was going up, so be careful coming down here. There's been a couple times where I almost ate shit, so if you're somebody who isn't used to doing this, mind your footing. Well, see what I'm talking about? All right, we are coming up on 2 hours and 52 minutes, and I just crossed over the 5-mile mark for this trail. It's a 5.7 mile trail once you factor in going all the way up and all the way down. 2 hours and 51 minutes, 2 hours and 52-ish. So by the time I complete this last, 0.5, 0.6 miles and get out to the street, I'll probably be right at 3 hours, which isn't bad, especially for a 6-mile trek. There are parts of it where you really got to go slow just because the trail is so uneven. Like right now, it's almost like a 2-track. So I can go tearing ass down the mountain pretty easily, but there's quite a few places where you really don't want to do that. You really want to take your time and make sure you got good footing to make sure you don't eat shit, And there you have it. Haystack Mountain via Jackrabbit Trail, 5.7 miles in 3 hours, 9 minutes. That's the video for today. Questions, comments, put them in the comment section of the video. Otherwise, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next trail.